If you want to make good money online by doing what you love because you're a generalist, then there's one big ass problem that you will keep running into. And that is, how the hell do I get paid for all these different interests and skills that I have? Because doing 5 side hustles isn't going to work, and definitely not without hating your life. But at the same time, trying to turn all those different skills and passions into one thing that pays you is nearly impossible. And you can trust me on this, because this was the big struggle in my life. I always wanted to make my own money and be free because of it. I physically couldn't stand having someone control my schedule, location, and the work I'm doing. Like, that's just against my whole being. What I wanted was just to enjoy my work based on all these different passions I have. That was the only thing I wanted. And to solve this struggle, it literally took me the first half of my 20s, and it was a painful journey. I was most of the times broke, as I couldn't find something that combined everything that I loved. But then when I tried something and went for it, then after 1 month, my heart wasn't in it anymore. I would constantly start things and not finish them because I would lose the connection to it. Finally, I did discover the solution. Currently, I'm making around 15K a month, and it was a hell of a journey to get here. And in this video, I'm gonna literally share the whole solution that took me my life to get to. I'm gonna share it with you for you to make more money as a generalist than you ever could as a specialist. This is going to be more valuable than a lot of paid courses out there, so make sure to stick around until the end. Unless you're Leonardo da Vinci and you're just crushing every single skill you have, it will simply be too hard to become valuable enough with every single skill and interest you have to get paid for it. Which creates this scenario where you're chasing 5 rabbits, catching 0. So for you as a generalist, all the power and the golden edge that you have is about the category of 1. Let me explain. Let's say I'm looking for a video editor for YouTube. Option A is an outstanding video editor. Option B, however, is a great video editor, but he only works on YouTube. He loves the cinematic style, and he spends a lot of time in the self-improvement / creator economy space. Now, even though option A might be a better video editor, option B will be infinitely more valuable to me because we are part of the same tribe. So as a generalist, your trump card, your golden edge, is to become a category of 1. And then find the people that belong in your tribe as both clients and people that educate you. But here is the main bottleneck, the main issue that I walked against for years. To now manually find the people that see the value in your category of 1 is nearly impossible. It is unrealistic. And that brings us to the superior and only solution in this digital economy, which is through content creation. For you to strategically, and we'll get into all of these steps, strategically demonstrate your category of 1, and then to have an advanced algorithm for YouTube to bring your tribe to you. This is what's gonna happen. You will get to explore and express the full range of your skills and interests without having to change your career every few months or years. You will attract an audience of people like you. The social proof that you build as you grow an audience makes anything you want to accomplish in life easier. You get to monetize that tribe, that audience, in a way that you love and provides real value to them. Right now, I'm just gonna assume that you want to turn your generalist nature into absolute freedom and become irreplaceable in the digital economy. And for that objective, here are the 5 specific steps that will allow you to start creating and making money as a generalist in the fastest way possible. First of all, we're not starting from scratch. People think, oh, I'm gonna start creating content, I have to start at 0. You will start with the wisdom, persuasion, character, all these skills that you've gathered. That will be your starting point. And the moment you turn on the camera, you get to cash in all that competence that you've gathered over your life. Just because you start a new path, you're not gonna start at 0. And that is super fucking exciting because it can go really, really fast, especially if you stick to these steps. Our objective is that we want to grow an audience on YouTube and monetize that audience. Step 1 is strategically identifying your content subjects in a way that we avoid the number 1 problems, which is either you niche down too much and you become too specific to attract an audience, or you go too wide and you're talking about dog walking and Muay Thai and interior design, right? And in doing so, also unable to create an audience. So this huge problem often arises for generalists, which is, I have all these interests, how do I turn it into a cohesive content universe? And the solution is to identify your main specialization as the sun of your universe. This is the skill that intelligently, strategically, you should monetize. That needs to be the sun of your universe. Then around that, we're gonna define the planets that are part of that solar system. So my sun, the thing that I'm monetizing, the thing I'm doing every day, that I love most, is making money online as a creator business. And my planets then would be self-improvement, seamer attention, masculinity, and cinematography. So I get to express all these passions and all these interests, and they all revolve around that main thing. So I can make a video about anything and still have it be connected to my sun, which is the thing you're monetizing eventually. In other words, it is the generalist interests, your planets, that feed into your main specialization, and that is your sun. And this way you get to explore freely while everything makes sense to the viewer, and the algorithm will be able to find an audience for it. To create your universe, identify your sun and identify your planets. Now that you have your subjects, now we need IDs to start sending out into the world. Now let me give you an advanced AI prompt that works shockingly well, that allows you to create infinite viral content IDs and headlines. This is the full prompt. The only things for you to change is your description, the overview of your brand with your mission. This is the example of one of my clients. All the way down for the y-axis of the table that you're going to receive, you create 4 categories. So in this case, the sun would be digital minimalism, and these would be planets around the sun of my client. And this is what you will get out of it. You get the 7 possible forms of YouTube content that work best. You will get 2 very strongly written titles for every category that you fill in. And it will use the description of your brand and your mission in every single title. So it becomes very cohesive with the universe that we've created. How to cut screen time by 50% and get hours of your life back. Why I used to let dopamine control my life. Some of these titles are ready to go, extremely powerful. You can infinitely reuse this prompt by changing the 4 subjects or changing the description of your brand and mission. This advanced AI prompt I've released in my community. You can copy it from there, paste it into ChatGPT, and you'll have infinite viral IDs, and that's your whole ideation process taken care of. Now with those finished titles or very strong IDs that come out of it, you now want to go into YouTube and run those titles through the search engine on YouTube and then filter on views and released within 1 year. What you'll get to see is all the videos that title will compete with the most viral videos there on the first page. This allows you to literally look at the evidence of what works. And I cannot stress this enough. That shows you exactly the demand. Look at the titles, the thumbnails, and the first 60 seconds of the video, and then replicate it. Make it your own. These people have turned all their wisdom into a title and thumbnail, into a video, and made it work. You can just take the evidence of what works and then use it to make a better video. And then you simply keep going until you find your own style and format. Now that you have your viral IDs, you know what to replicate. The next step is to turn that into outstanding content. Step 3. The fastest way to grow an audience requires 3 skills. Getting people to watch, which is identified by click-through rate. Getting people to keep watching, identified by average viewer duration. And then lastly, making people feel happy they watched it, which is measured by engagement, likes, comments, subscribes, and so on. So first of all, getting people to watch. Go to Canva and start emulating the working titles and thumbnails that you are retrieving from your research in the last step. Start emulating those winning thumbnails and titles until you find your own format. Then, the first 30 seconds are essential to getting people to watch. Hook the viewer by describing the problem your video is solving. Amplify it with the pains caused by that problem. Then you close the introduction with a curiosity gap, which you do by promising the desired outcome, promising that your video is going to get them that desired outcome. Most people talk about themselves. They talk about welcome to my channel, all that stuff. It doesn't make sense. People are fundamentally egocentric. That's how our ego works. You need to talk to their reality, to their pains, to their problems, to their desires, to their dreams and fears. And if you can do that, and then you end that with a curiosity gap by saying this is what you're gonna get, people will watch the whole video. The very first sentence you open with should be the heaviest artillery you have. That's how I like to think about it. And that will be your first 30 seconds. Number 2, getting people to keep watching. Average viewer duration. And we achieve this through format and structure. Here are some format examples for you to play around with until you hit a video that does well. Whiteboard explainer videos, talking head with illustrations and systems, handwritten or designed with Canva, cinematic style, storytelling style, activity-based education, going for a walk while working out or while driving. These all work very well. Explore different formats until you find something that works for you. When you got that, double down on the signal. Always follow the signal that your audience is giving you. And then lastly, making people feel happy that they watched your video. Engagement. This is done by you having the mentality to over-deliver on the promise that you're giving with your title and with your hook. To simply blow away the viewer. If you can do that, you get likes, subscribes, and you will get comments like these. I can't believe why your channel has this little subscribers. I can't believe I found this gem, and so on and so forth. That I call signal. That's when the world starts validating that you're onto something and that you have something that people want. When you hit signal, that is our benchmark, our trigger to go to the next step, which is monetization. Step 4. Here's the best way to monetize your audience as a category of one. With a small audience on YouTube, I like to call this niche fame, you have developed high trust relationships. With low volume and high trust, the absolute best no-brainer way to monetize is by selling solutions through high-ticket coaching and consulting. Later on, when you have 100,000 subscribers, you can think about adding a low-ticket or mid-ticket community or a book or something else to your value ladder. But at this point, you have people that want a solution from you, and we're going to give it to them. So let's create a knockout offer around the son that you've identified, that main specialization. Let me give you an example from my son, making money with a creator business. I know that in my audience there are lots of working professionals, coaches, consultants that want to make 10K per month online. And the big problem I identified, because I went through it myself, was making the first 10K online. If you've never created a piece of content, created a marketing funnel, the whole online game, right? If you've never done these things, making that first 10K online, I know for myself, can take you 3 years of pain. And how do you validate that this is a problem? Did you go through it? You have solved problems. And around that son, that main specialization, what is the big problem that you solved? Then go solve that for your audience. Define the problem that excites you and that you are qualified to solve, by means of you having solved it yourself or for other people. Now let's make the knockout offer using Alex Hormozi's value equation. This is by far the most simple and powerful way to do it. So we got 4 components. So let's just run through how I created my offer to show you how this works. The desired outcome my offer gets them, make 10K per month online doing what you love. The likelihood of success is communicated through my case studies and the guarantee that if you don't make 10K, you get your money back. Time delay is 6 months. This is actually pretty long, but in my case realistic, and I love to be realistic and honest. And then perceived effort, again in my case, you have to be committed. So this is again not optimal, but realistic and honest. If you want to build a real business, it takes effort. If you cannot further improve any of these components, then it's time to make your headline, and that could look something like this. You bring us your skill, we turn it into a 10K per month creator business within 6 months, or you get a refund. You're creating content, you have signal, you got an offer, so let's sell it to your audience. That's the last step. So how do you make sales? Traffic times conversion rate is sales. So you want traffic, which is attention, somewhere where it converts into a sale. And so to start out, that will be your landing page. You just need a MVP, minimal viable product. This is where you start monetizing your audience. And it's more than good enough to do 10K per month, I'm telling you. Again, the following information, all of this in much more detail with many more resources you can find in my free community, so join us there. So use Hostinger if you want to go the cheapest route, or use Squarespace if you want a little bit more other marketing solutions like newsletter. Then on top, write the offer headline you created in the last step, then follow up with some good copywriting about problems, pains, and again, desired outcome. Then add a button element all the way below on the page that says book a free call. So on Calendly, you create an appointment link. This allows people to book an appointment in your schedule, copy and paste that link into that button element. So now that you have that landing page, we want eyeballs, traffic, attention from your YouTube to that landing page. We do this by making call to actions at the end of the videos that are connected to your offer. You make a call to action stating the following. We are selecting X niche that want desired outcome in time frame. I will personally mentor you until benefits. The best part is, if you don't get desired outcome, I will guarantee X. If that sounds interesting and you want to see if you qualify, click on the link in the description to learn more. And that's it. Now you are cashing in on the goodwill you've been building up with all the content you made. Now how do you sell at a high closing rate without feeling salesy? This is what you do. The call should have 3 sections. First, you ask questions to let the prospect describe his point A. So that's the problem and the pains. Then you let him describe the point B, which is the desired outcome that he personally wants, right? And make sure to really let him describe the benefits, the desires behind that. Now you have a very clear point A and a point B. Now, if you feel certain that your offer brings client from point A to point B, then you got a win-win situation. You don't have anything to sell, you have a solution to give, and you will be proportionally rewarded for that, right? In that case, you make the offer and you let him qualify a little bit instead of you trying to get something from him, right? You want to make sure it's a good client, and you start collecting your first payments. And that's how you do it. Start this journey. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain, I tell you. If you are interested to do this in 6 months with an actual guarantee to get to 10K per month, by having us do most of the heavy lifting for you and personally guide you from A to Z, then I'm just letting you know that we have 1 spot left for the upcoming cohort, so you can still get that last spot. But if you're too late, you can click the link in the description and see when the next cohort will be and see if there's any spots for that one. Let's hop on a call and we'll figure out if it's something for you, right?